What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are all doing well. In today's video, I'm going to be looking at a 2003 Chevy Silverado 2500HD. This truck is equipped with a 6.6 liter Duramax engine, and customer initially came in asking for us to replace the master cylinder. Kind of explained that the brakes have been kind of feeling weird lately, so he was assuming it's a problem with the master cylinder. So when I initially brought the car and I turned the truck on, and you can hear the whine of the power steering pump being low on fluid. This vehicle, by it being a diesel engine, it is equipped with a hydraulic hydro booster. So what the hydro boost does, it takes the place of the vacuum brake booster on regular cars. What that brake booster does is it helps assist in the brake pedal effort, so you don't have to push as hard to get the truck to stop or get the car to stop. So by you having either a faulty hydro boost, faulty power steering pump, no fluid, whatever, it can cause the brakes to be really hard. Now, some customers who don't really know can attribute that to being a faulty master cylinder, possibly. So we just offered to do a courtesy inspection to see if the master cylinder is faulty before we actually go ahead and replace it. And I also noticed the ABS light is on, so I'm gonna go ahead and scan the car, see why the ABS light is on, and then we're gonna get in there and do a visual inspection, see where it's possibly leaking from, and then we're gonna go from there. And guys, if you guys do find this content helpful, do subscribe to the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. It really does help the channel and these videos. So again, if you guys like the content, subscribe to the channel. So looking at the scan tool, we have one code obviously on the ABS system, nothing elsewhere that I'm concerned about. And we're looking at a right front wheel speed sensor. Now, having a bad wheel speed sensor, a sensor that's possibly dropping out at higher speeds, it could also affect the brake pedal. I've had cars where, let's get back over here. I've had cars where a bad wheel speed sensor would cause the ABS pump to activate, causing vibration or the pedal to kind of kick back at you. Again, that can also feel like a bad master cylinder. It could go either way. More than likely, the main problem is going to be the lack of fluid in the hydro booster, but we're definitely going to want to take a peek at that right front wheel speed sensor and see if it actually is failing as well. So let's get into the visual inspection now. So we come under the hood, and we're looking over here. Obviously I had to top it off to get it in here without it, you know, making a whole bunch of noise and possibly damaging the pump. We can't see the steering gear from here, so we do have a wet hose right there, and that is, as you see, coming off the hydro boost. Let's move this out of the way. It's coming off it right here, goes down, and that's that one right there. So let's go ahead and get this car lifted up, see if there's any other possible leaks, but it does seem to be like that one is going to be our main leak. So let's move under the truck and go see what else we got. Okay, so here's the other side of that hose. As you can see, there's a trail coming off it. So definitely that hose is leaking, and that's more likely going to be the main source of the leak. A little bit more fluid coming up under there. All right, and then I don't see, I can't tell if this gearbox is leaking or not. I'm gonna have to clean it and run it and see. Well, I might not run it. I might just give the customer the option to do the gearbox itself. I do see it up there. That could have been when I spilled it. I'm just more worried about that one right there. Okay, well, it's yeah, that's kind of hard to, because it's kind of everywhere, but that definitely that's leaking right there. Let's take a peek at the right front wheel speed sensor. So here is the connector for the right front wheel speed sensor. Here's the actual connector for it right here. So based on looking at it, connector feels okay. It doesn't feel like it's unplugged, doesn't feel like it's damaged. Wire going into the hub section looks okay. So what we can start off by doing is disconnecting this and putting an ohm meter across it and see what the resistance is. Match that up with the what the computer tells me what it should be. That way we can see if the sensor potentially is shorted internally. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my ohm meter and then we're gonna get the resistance, and we're gonna see what it's supposed to be and see what it actually is. It's looking at the wiring diagram. Let's break into it. We have the right front wheel speed sensor right here. We got two wires. We got tan and we have a dark green. So looking at the dark green, we have a positive on the dark green and negative on the tan. What we're going to do is we're going to catch it right here. We're going to ohm check this section of it, and then we are also going to probe the dark green with the key on, engine off, and see if it has any kind of voltage, whether it be 5 volts, 12 volts. It's more like it's going to be a 5-volt reference, and then we'll see what's going on with this wheel speed. So here's the setup that you see me running. I have 2 of these small female flat blade connectors. We got them hooked up to the wheel speed sensor. Coming down, got it on my meter, and we are seeing right now 1.071 ohms of resistance. That's kilo ohms of resistance, actually. I don't have specs for it, so I'm not sure if that's right or if that's wrong. What I can do next is go ahead and spin the wheel and see if we're getting a signal. So I misspoke about the having power and ground coming to it. So this is an AC generated signal, so as you spin the wheels, it generates a signal. So with that being said, I should be able to pick something up. The speed sensor is integrated into the front right wheel hub, so if it is faulty, we have to replace that right front wheel hub. Let me get the scan tool hooked back up. Let me get this front wheel off the ground and try and spin it and see what we can get. Alright, so I got the scan tool hooked up as best as I can. Well, I got it in a spot where you can kind of clearly see it. So our main focus right here is the right front, and as we spin it, sorry about the shaking, spin the tire at the same time. So as you can see, it did move up in voltage, or in miles per hour, I mean, not voltage. Okay. The only thing that has me concerned is why is it sitting at 3.1 miles per hour while the car is not even moving. But yeah, so far it looks like the sensor itself is working, so we're good there, at least for right now. It might be intermittent dropout though. I guess we'll have to just notate it on the work order and then potentially just go drive it and see if it drops out while we're driving. All right, so the inspection's done. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in. I'm gonna hold off on the ABS sensor for the time being, because it's part of the wheel hub, so I'm gonna hold off onto it until I can drive it and see what the speed does if it drops out intermittently. So yeah, let's go ahead and put the inspection report in and see what the customer wants to do. So we got approval to go ahead and replace this line, so I already have my fill air and crow's foot already up on there. So we're gonna break it free from here, and then I'm going to pull off the fender liner so I can gain a little more access to the steering gear. So let me go ahead and pull this fender liner off. All you have is one push clip here, right here, you have a clip right here, here, and I believe this one, that one, and then that one down right over there. I'm not sure if these come off. Definitely this one, that one, and that one down there. So let me go take that off. Okay, so here is the line right here, and it's going to go to our steering gear over here. Next step I'm going to go do is I'm going to pull off this band clamp. We're going to pull off this band clamp. Maybe I'll do it from the top. I'm not entirely sure. But we're going to get this turbo pipe out of my way so I can actually access the nut, the flare nut down over there. So let me go and get this turbo pipe out of my way. Okay, now with that turbo pipe out of the way, there's a, if I can catch it or not, where is it? There's a clamp, I believe right here. That might not be it. Yeah, that's a clamp right here. Can you get it? Yes. There's a clamp that holds in right here. And then now I have a little bit more access to the top of the steering gear. So let me go ahead and pull that line out. All right, so we got the old line out right there. We got the new one right here. We got the two new O-rings right there. So we're gonna go ahead and throw those on. And what you're seeing me have to do over here is I had to loosen this line right here, take it off, because it wants to go, the way they route it is it comes around and it goes through it and then in. So kind of stupid, but hey, I didn't design it. So let's go ahead and get the O-rings added onto the new one, and let's plumb this one in. Alright, so as you can see, we got the new one in. We got it clearing over there. Just kind of bent it down a little bit so it doesn't rub on anything. And then we got it in over there. We got the clamp in. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the turbo pipe back on off camera since you guys already see me take it off. And then we'll get the fender liner back in, and then we'll go ahead and flush the system. Alright, so we got the power steering machine hooked up. This is the one that we're running on it. I'll link this one in the description if you guys are interested in it. It's a small little unit. Runs off the car battery. So we have it filled up. And then I went ahead and jacked the car up in the front to get the wheels off the ground. So I can kind of just pre-bleed all the air out of it. So in GMs, the way I do it is I'll fill them up. I'll jack the car up in the front, or from my lift, I'll leave it off the ground. Put the fluid in, cycle the wheel a few times until the bubbles start to come to stop coming down, and the oil basically becomes normal again. And then I'll go ahead and fire it up, and then I'll keep cycling the key. In this case, I'm doing a flush, so I'm going to turn the key on, let it run a little bit, suck it out, pour the new fluid in, keep doing it until the fluid comes out nice and red. So I'm going to go ahead and flush it real quick, and then we'll come back once this car is ready to go. Something to add, since I am doing a flush, and this one is a hydro boost, you have to, on top of cycling the steering wheel left and right, you have to pump the brakes too to get the fluid to go through the hydro boost as well. So if you're doing a regular power steering flush, just turning the steering wheel left and right to lock the lock, that's fine. If you're doing a car that has a hydro boost braking system, then you, aside from turning the steering wheel, you have to press on the brakes too. That way it lets the fluid go through the hydro boost. Alright guys, so I came back from the road test. The brake pedal feels really good. The power steering system feels good. The steering is actually nice and loose. So having brand new fluid in there probably does help. So let's go ahead and take a peek at what I did once I was done, just to show you the cleanliness of it. So we got, where I worked is nice and clean. My cylinder looks clean. On the steering reservoir is nice and clean. And then I also just clean inside the fender liner as well, just a little bit, to make the customer a little bit extra happy. It sucks he didn't get any of the extra work done, any of the other seals done, but I mean, that is what it is. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, like and subscribe, and share this video if possible, and I'll see you guys next time.